588th Regiment of the Soviet Army. It's the only all-female Soviet bombing regiment in World War II. So you're going to meet a few of these women who were harassment bombers with really shitty planes flying at night over top of Nazi targets and doing what's called harassment bombing. These women were caught between two totalitarian regimes, the Soviets, who had taken over many of their homes and subjugated them before the Germans came over and attempted to do the same, while at the same time fighting both patriarchy and the destruction of everything they love. They don't know what the results of this war is going to be. So a little bit of nationalism to inspire our night witches today. Okay, awesome. I think we're going to start out by with this epic background music. We're going to hear about the four women we're following in the 588th and introduce our players for today. Let's start with Sabrina.
So, my character... Actually, can we turn the music down?
A little bit loud?
Yeah. That should do.
Better? All right. Yeah.
Yes, I can hear everybody. So my character's name is Nina, and she is a spunky lieutenant? Sergeant. I'm a sergeant, actually. Knocked
you just
myself
promoted
down.
yourself.
I know. So she's a spunky lieutenant who has a lucky potato, and we'll see what kind of adventures she'll get into today with said potato.
Alrighty, yes, thank you, Nina. Let's go to Cassie Levitt.
Alright, I am playing Alexandra Sasha Maslova, who is a sergeant, a hawk, and an adventurer. It's kind of the daredevil of the group. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I think if I can survive without crashing another plane, I'll be happy. Oh, if I can survive another plane crash, I'll be happy.
There you go.
Let's chat a little bit about last session with Sasha. Who did Sasha gain some respect for, if you remember? Or am I getting it wrong? Yeah, Sasha.
Sasha gained respect for Nina. They literally came down in an aircraft in a mud field and managed to survive. Particularly, I think Nina's quick thinking may have helped them get out of a otherwise deadly scenario. So
yeah,
it was pretty epic. It was pretty epic. All right, Cassie Polhammer.
Yeah,
we have two Cassies today.
Yes, two Cassies forever. But yeah, I play Svetlana. I am the junior lieutenant of the group, and the last run that we did was based on her enthusiasm, as well as everybody's overconfident attitudes that we can do anything. And I mean, we did it, but it was let's see, it was a little bit let's see if I can change that. I can't. But yeah, it was a little bit scary, and yeah, very scary.
What do you think is etched into Svetlana's mind after that very intense bombing run?
There's a whole lot of doubt as far as her ability to judge how ready we actually are, and oh man, now the mortality of the situation, we could actually die. Ah, damn it. Until you actually experience it for yourself, it's somebody else's problem, not mine. So yeah. Is
this the first time Svetlana has really realized that she could die?
Yeah.
Okay,
well, I mean, at least as far as in her adult life, I would say yes. But for a long time, she thinks she could kind of get her way out of pretty much any situation, because she's had to do so in the past. But this was a lot closer to home with the death thing. So Yeah.
Okay, all right. Mortality. It's a bitch.
Yeah.
Okay, Paige, tell us about your character.
That's me. Hello. I will be playing Ira tonight, who is the younger sister of Sasha. And Ira is the youngest female in the regiment. If anyone asks, she's 18, but she's actually 16. And she's a bit naive. She has a relationship with a German spy that she doesn't know is a spy, but has a relationship with a German spy in the regiment. And yeah, she's a little spunky. She's a little, I would lean more on towards naive, but this last run kind of solidified the weight of the situation of what actually is happening.
And what was brought to the forefront for Ira when after that harrowing mission last session?
Other than the fact that death.
That might happen.
All the death, and landing beautifully. I honestly don't know.
It's a weird echo.
For me?
No, it was like somebody's car moving or something at that point. I don't know. Figure it out.
Yeah, there's some funny thumping. Maybe the chat let us know if you can hear that. Okay, it sounds like it's been a rough week for everyone, and you all took 2 harm. And in this game, you need a couple of days to recuperate from that. So you've spent a couple of days resting. You aren't seen as fit for duty quite yet, and in this time, it's sort of a rare opportunity for you to think a little bit about your past and about your families, and we're going to take a short look at the background of one of our characters today, and we open up on a middle-aged couple. There are 2 women packing clothing into satchels by the light of a guttering candle. They're both very thin. Their clothes are stained and worn, and one woman's brow is furrowed as she stuffs her meager belongings into the bag. The other comes behind her, putting her bony hands on her shoulders. "We cannot wait, Valeria. He may not return next week." Valeria turns. "It's too soon. Wait until Christmas. We will leave next week. Patrols will be lighter. I'll have the doll finished. Many will turn a blind eye for such a gift to give their daughter." The other woman shakes her head. "You're right, but this may be our last chance. We cannot risk it." She grasps her by the shoulders and looks her in the eye. "Valeria, you know that if they find me, take her and run. Do not come back. Sophia, no, do not speak of it. Soon, we will be safe in Chechnya." They hold each other's gaze for a moment, and Sophia pulls Valeria toward her to give her a quick, furtive kiss. She nods. Safe in Chechnya. It's January in 1932 in Kiev, and we cut to a young Svetlana sleeping in a small cot, wearing a simple cotton nightshirt. Her woolen blankets are tucked in around her, and we see frost forming on the wall next to her bed. She shivers, attempting to push herself deeper into the blankets, but her light sleep is interrupted by a muffled thump and lowered voices from outside her room. Her eyes open, and she rubs her nose, attempting to ward off the chill of the air. A beam of flickering light widens on her wall as the door to Svetlana's room, small room, no bigger than a closet, opens to reveal her mother, Valeria. Strands of graying hair are tucked beneath a kerchief, tied at her chin, and there's a satchel slung across her shoulder. "Lana, it's morning. Time to go visit Baba." Svetlana rubs sleep from her hollowed eyes. Her skin is pale, her cheeks sunken. It's not Christmas, Mama. It soon will be, and you can help her make buka for our dinner. Svetlana's stomach growls audibly. Mama! Papa has flour? Valeria stretches a half smile over her cracked, chapped lips. If there's flour to be had, your Baba will have it. Quickly, get dressed. We cut to a darkened street where the hulking figure of a man is illuminated by the waning moon. We can see his clothing hangs from his thinning frame as well. 3 figures exit a short, squat building through a side door, and we see Sophia approaching him. She hands him 2 wrapped rectangular packages. He clutches them, bringing to his nose and inhaling deeply. He nods. Svetlana watches the exchange, and her eyes widen. Sophia! Sophia, why are you giving him our bread? Sophia looks daggers at Valeria. I thought you were 2 steps behind. Never mind, little one. We'll have plenty to eat soon. At Baba's? Yes, at Baba's. Svetlana has trouble taking her eyes off the packages. Her mouth waters and her stomach rumbles painfully. She bites her lip, holding back tears and complaints, and the man looks at her, pity on his face, and lifts a corner of the package. He pulls a piece of bread free and hands it to her. The young girl takes it reverently and wraps her lips around a corner, careful not to let a single crumb drop. Both Valeria and Sophia watch for a moment as she eats. We must go, Valeria whispers. The man nods, and Svetlana follows the adults through a warren of streets. Dizzy from lack of sleep and food, she stumbles along, holding Valeria's hand. Finally, the foursome reaches a main street by way of a narrow alley. Every second street light blazes with bright yellow light, illuminating thick, swirling snow. At the back of the group, Svetlana holds the last bit of bread on her tongue, sucking every last drop of flavor from it as she watches the adults huddle together, arguing fiercely in hushed tones. As the last crumbs slide down her throat, a kernel of fear grows in the pit of her stomach. The man turns to leave, roughly pushing past her. Sophia reaches to catch him, but Valeria stops her, gesturing toward the road and putting a finger to her lips. They retreat from the lamplight towards Svetlana. Mama, what's happening? Svetlana whispers. Sophia crouches down and embraces the girl. You be a good girl and get ready to run. She hands her a piece of paper. I love you. Svetlana turns the paper over in her hand, and the moonlight illuminates a photo of her mother, young and smiling and holding a bouquet of flowers. Sophia takes a deep breath and turns and walks into the lamplight, only just escaping Valeria's grasp as her partner tries to stop her. We hear shouts in Russian. 2 uniformed men run past the alley's entrance, oblivious to the shrunken woman and her daughter. Svetlana looks at Valeria, whose face is a mask of shock and confusion. The young girl peers around the corner to see Sophia giving the Soviet soldiers an obscene gesture and screaming in Ukrainian, "Liberty or death!" drawing them away from their post, leaving an opening for Valeria and Svetlana. Svetlana runs. The bread is like a stone in her stomach, and the shouts become screams and thuds. Her exhausted, starved body begs for relief, but she and Valeria stumble their way past the gate into the dark, wintry night, the snow erasing their footprints almost as soon as they're made. What's Svetlana thinking when she has this memory come to her during these 2 days of rest?
Oh, man. She misses Sophia. She misses the fun times when there was bread and we would steal butter from the dairyman, just a little bit, just enough to like have butter on your bread, and it was the best. And you know, that's she puts down, like, forces down her anger, because there's a lot of rage there too, silent rage, like knowing who she has to be in order to survive versus the girl that she was. She's angry at losing that.
And we see Svetlana as she and Sasha climb into a plane and fly away. We see Nina climb into the pilot seat of a second plane with Ira as the navigator, and fly to their next mission, because you've rested up, and this is the war. Your rest is short and inadequate, and it's time to go bomb some more Nazis. So we're going to jump right into our very first mission. We get to see this photo of Valyria on Svetlana's dash. As she flies up to support the pilot, who is Nina, and Ira, the navigator, Svetlana and Sasha are going to be our Vedomaya. So our Vedomaya can offer us some support while we go and complete these missions. Now, this mission that we start with is it leaves our women at a bit of a disadvantage, because we have in a Powered by the Apocalypse game, we have something called a mission pool in this particular iteration. Because we have not had the benefit of a daytime cycle, our mission pool is 0 right now. So what we need is our audience to give us some donations, and if as you kill our stream boss, we begin to get more and more added to our mission pool, and that adds to the roll. So we're rolling 2d6 as tests, and if we get points, we can add to the mission pool, and we can fuck some shit up. So that's up to you, chat. And yes, thank you, Nick Morgan.
Yay!
Let's get this going. Now, you are meant to be bombing a German marshalling yard just beyond the Don River crossing. So this is really kind of helpful for Ira, our navigator, because she's going to be able to find this pretty easily, using the river as a marker. So let's just jump right into it with a wayfinding roll. And I will turn the music down. It's a little bit loud here. There we go.
Thanks, Oz, for those bits.
Yeah, Oz, thank you very much. Okay, so let's jump right in with a wayfinding roll from our good friend Ira,
Right.
as you are bombing this yard. It's nighttime, so it's there's minimal action going on there, but plenty to destroy.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okie dokie.
Oh,
Let
Erica,
me
thank
open
you
up my
so
character sheet, because I
much.
feel like I roll from there. And I do.
We do
That is
have,
correct. Yes. So wayfinding roll is plus skill.
and we do have
Skill.
10.
a mission pool.
10.
Hey.
A 10 is an unqualified success. Give us a quick description of this marshalling yard. Oh, thank you, Erica.
Yeah, I was to say thank you, Erica, for all of those bits.
Amazing. What's our mission pool at right now?
It's at 1.
You're muted,
Cassie, you're muted.
Does.
No wonder you guys can hear me before. But yes, we're at 1 right now.
Oh, yeah.
What? Excellent. Okay, that's good. Well, Ira don't need no mission pool.
I don't need no mission pool. Yeah, so as we're flying over, and Ira's navigating in the back, she looks over this river and easily follows it, knowing that the river has to be connected to, the fields and everything. It's a river. It's water. You can wash your body in it. You can drink from it.
Tell us more about rivers.
Connects to towns occasionally.
There are lakes sometimes that happen.
Hey, thanks, cool.
Yeah.
Ooh,
And,
cool. You're so cool.
This Marshall field, because Paige isn't smart with terms, so bear with my brain. What is a Marshall field?
A Marsing field. What I think it is essentially where they would gather to go off on missions, whatever, like where they would get orders, do exercises, that kind of thing. So it's sort of
that's what I imagine too.
Like if you wake up and your Marsing field has been destroyed, it's a hit on morale, and of course there's probably people who are sleeping not far from there. So
yeah. So this Marshall field is vaguely big. It has some mini shacks that are meant for bunkers for the men to sleep in. There are people walking around late at night, speaking to higher ups. There is a prominent German flag pole in the middle of this Marshall field, just taunting us as we fly by.
Okay. All right. So, then, I guess from Nina, we need a piloting roll.
Yes.
So that, an attack run rather. So that is plus guts.
Yes, it is. And I hope, beyond hope, that I can roll as well as
this.
Ira.
You got this.
And
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
So 6 is a fail. We have 1 in our mission pool. You add that 1, you get up to a 7, which is a qualified success.
You can always tempt fate too. That's luck, I believe.
Guts actually is tempting
also
fate.
guts. Okay. I'll tempt fate.
Here it goes.
Starting off strong.
Oh my goodness, Mother Russia, please. Help me.
Can I please put that on a
Fuck
t-shirt?
yes.
Holy shit.
Oh my god!
Thank you,
Amazing.
Mother
Mother
Russia.
Russia, thank you.
Much appreciated.
Beautiful. Okay, let's hear, Nina. How do you find and drop with expert accuracy onto the perfect target?
Okay, so I would love to. These planes, they like roll, right?
We can.
That's an option. I don't think they're
You can do like
super
a-
maneuverable, but you could maybe not upside down, but like side
Okay.
bank, I suppose.
We can't aerial around roll or barrel
But I
roll,
can-
as the community calls it.
Right, I can tilt if it were.
Yeah.
Sure,
And
tilt.
perhaps wink at my target prior to tilting the other way and dropping a nice fat one like right in the middle.
Yes.
Ah, gorgeous. Okay, so you drop this bomb and you explode what looks like a canteen, like a place to eat, and you're feeling really good about this run. In the briefing, there was no sense that they were expecting you or that anything any kind of resistance would be happening. But to your surprise, there is suddenly a massive, blinding searchlight kind of scanning through the sky, and you hear the roar of an engine, and you see just kind of out of the corner of your vision, just as the searchlight blinds you, just before it blinds you, you see another plane, a yellow and black plane, and it roars past you, and it begins shooting at you. You see, and I think Sasha and Svetlana, you in your support plane, you see as it's rushing past you, it has 17 red stars on its tail.
Ooh.
So I need. So you are under enemy fire. Ira, can you roll plus luck?
Sure. I can totally do that. Cause I don't have luck.
I ain't got no luck.
8.
8.
That is a success, right?
It is a mixed success. Yes.
Yeah, it's an okay success.
Okay. All right. So on a 7 to 8, you choose two of the following consequences. You and your fellow airwaymen are marked. So that would be you and Nina. You split 5 harm between the two of you, so you have casualties. Your plane is damaged, or another plane in your section goes down. So that could be your Vetamaya. Now, Arvetamaya, you have the option of making a move here to take one of these consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can do that.
Yeah, I think so.
Okie doke. So let's get Paige, or rather Ira. You can pick 2 consequences. So you're marked. You split
Okay.
5 harm. Your plane is damaged, or another plane in your section goes down.
I think
Is there-
I think having your plane damaged kind of sucks, but I think that's one of the safest options.
Okay.
And being marked, what does that entail? I don't want to screw over my sisters.
That's fine. So being marked means that you choose from a list of different consequences. Some of these consequences are positive, some of them are relatively neutral, some of them are quite negative. So like last session, we learned a little bit more about Nina and Nadia's relationship through the mark. And Sasha found new respect for Nina through her mark. So it can be up to and including the death of a loved one.
Okay.
Yay.
Let me
Yay!
find this. Let me find this list. This list is actually in our playbooks, right?
Yeah, it's in our playbooks, yeah.
Gotta get that playbook up.
Yeah, that's one thing that I didn't have up.
Yeah.
So things like share a premonition, tell a war story, tell a story of home, act against your best interest. There's an option to advance. You can call dangerous attention to yourself, speak truth to power, and you don't need to do these right away. It can happen later, but you can watch for an opportunity for it.
I think it's fine that they're marked. That's another safer option, unless you guys want to take harm, but I don't want to give you guys harm. Unless you want it.
Okay, so that would mean Ira and Nina are marked, and I will say that the Vetamaya are taking damage. So that would be Sasha and Svetlana. Who's flying this rig? Sasha, Svetlana? Who's gonna be doing our wheels down move?
I'll stick with flying, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that'll be
You
good.
nailed it.
Okay. So Ira and Nina, I want you to think about the mark that you're going to take, and you are shocked that they knew you were coming. They were able to find and attack you with some kind of foreknowledge, and so you head back to your base, and your runway is a series of split logs covered in mud, and they have set hay bales on fire to line the runway so that you can see where you're landing.
Gosh.
It's rough going out here in the middle of a farmer's field where you've set up this makeshift airfield. So I want to, we get Nina and Ira, you are able to land with no trouble. So think about your marks. We'll talk about that in a sec. And I want to get a roll for, let me just pull this up here. From Sasha. Wheels down is...
Wheels down. All right. That's an ideal. All right. We can do this.
Yeah.
I'm good at this. I have the adventure quality, and it says that you can bring wheels down in so I can land this. or get a 7.
Well,
It's not the worst.
So you only pick one consequence because you're an adventurer,
Yeah.
I believe.
No, the adventure lets me potentially advance if we switch bases and I've done this. Let's see.
Yeah, I've got that adventure.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
consequence. Yeah.
Yeah. I see there. It's on the playbook. Okay, very cool. All right.
So options are: it's unflyable, totally damaged, very badly damaged, casualties on board, so you'll split harm, and your lack of skill, courage, or care with the people's machinery is noted. Or the landing puts you in immediate danger. So
I think the one that sounds most dramatic is my landing puts me in immediate danger. What does that mean?
Okay. So I think what this is you. It's the landing gear that got damaged, and like he shot at one side, so the landing gear and one engine is kind of doing some weird sputtering sounds. So you're very wobbly. You're not able to level yourself out very well, and so you pull in to this runway, and then it's pulling you back, and you pull in, and you're trying to correct for this weird angle, but then your landing gear is not engaged, and so you overcorrect and you crash into a burning hay bale. The two of you are in basically a wooden oiled canvas plane sitting
Now
over top of a hay bale that is on fire. So let's get some reactions. What do you do?
I think as much as Sasha can is just to try to get it immediately to stop, and then like we're really rats running out of a flying steaming barn, right? Like trying to get out as quickly as possible.
So Sasha, Svetlana, each of you is going to take a harm from the fire. You get some minor burns. Do you run away from the plane and leave it to burn?
Yeah. I imagine I'm probably in front being the pilot and actually flying. So like as soon as Savannah's out, like I am jumping out too and just like pushing her to run through the mud to get out of here.
Like I grabbed the picture of my mother as I'm like literally and taking out a knife to cut the restraints because I can't unbuckle them in time. So yeah, I just like cut and then dive out of there, stumble to get my footing back and make sure that Sasha's following behind so we can get out.
Whew. Okay. So everyone survived this run. Good work, everybody. Okay, so you see your plane is up in flames. It is a fiery wreck. It is completely destroyed. A couple people run and try to take parts off of it before it gets completely doused. And somebody throws some sand on it. There's people like beating it with blankets. There's not really anywhere they can easily access water. And it kind of seems like they've done this before. Right. This is not like new. It's
oh my gosh.
Yeah, this plane is done for. And I think that this we didn't establish which plane it was, so we'll say it was an anonymous plane. We don't know.
Okay.
So I won't take that plane away from you. So and you need to head to your debriefing. Well, thanks, cool.
Thank you, cool. Appreciate it. We have 388 more hit points on the stream boss right now for us to get an extra mission point.
Oh, and if you feel like competing with your fellow viewers, the last person to kill the stream boss is going to get to create an NPC with me.
Was our NPC that pilot that just shot at us?
Maybe not.
Yeah, do we know was it 19 stars, what that means?
No. You saw it had a row of stars. I mean, maybe you didn't have time to stop and count, but there was a lot of red stars on this plane. Yeah.
But we don't know if that means like kills or anything like that.
I was
Or
gonna say, he could be a witch hunter for all we know.
No, you are not 100% sure about that.
Okay. Mystery for the two.
All right. So before you rest up and relax during your day, you're going to need to head to your debriefing.
Great.
So you head in and others file in behind you as their missions finish up. And you see a couple of them are also in various states of disrepair. And there are a couple of fellow airwomen that are missing that you don't see. And there's some kind of hushed conversation in the back, and a couple of you over here a little bit more about enemy fire and getting caught in unexpected danger. And you two women walk in. The first is Lieutenant Belazovska, and the second is a woman that you haven't seen since your training missions. A tall, thin woman with hair pulled back very tightly. And she sort of stands up and cranes her neck and looks at everyone. And then she sits in the corner, takes out a notebook, and says nothing. Lieutenant Belazovska goes right up to Ira and kind of points a finger in her face and says, "Sergeant, report. What happened out on the field today?"
We were flying normally, and a searchlight caught us immediately. It's like they knew that we were there, sir. She exchanges a glance with the tall, thin woman, and Ira, you recognize her as Ekaterina Rezanosova, the NKVD officer who had your number at the training missions. You and her have had words. Oh yeah, I have her on my sheet, so if she starts arguing with me, I've got a +1, bitch.
And you watch as Lieutenant Belazovska exchanges a look with her, and she turns back to the room and asks, in general, she says, "So, there was enemy fire?"
Yes, sir.
Yes, it was a black and yellow plane with stars on the tail.
17, I think. Red
black
stars.
And you see as Yasena Zovska is furiously writing notes, and the lieutenant nods, and she gets reports from a couple of other groups, and they hear kind of similar things. Unexpected fire. They were waiting for you to be there, and so she scans the room, and she points out a couple of injured people, including Sasha and Svetlana, and says, "All right, pilots, you're dismissed. You, get yourself cleaned up, go see the doctor. Handle those burns. We'll see you tonight."
Yes, sir.
So she and Yekaterina Rezanovska, I am butchering her name and changing it every single time I do it. Rezanosova. Who picked this name? You ask me. I picked this name. Rezanosova. They exit the room. When I do it right, it sounds okay. Yeah. And you have your orders to go see the doctor, and the rest of you have the day to relax, debrief, eat, try to ignore the rising panic in your mind. I have a quick question. Can you hear my music at all?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Okay. I will leave it at that. I can't hear it for some reason, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. It is daytime. Let's change our overlay. And Cool mentions that he's surprised they're not getting chewed for calling her sir. As a matter of fact, any superior is called sir in this
Yes.
in this particular system. I don't know if in the Soviet army if that's actually accurate, but there you go.
Yay.
Yeah.
Gender doesn't matter when you can.
When
You
you're
have the power to throw someone in jail.
right.
Gender doesn't matter in Soviet Russia, where you're just everyone is a body for a bullet.
Yeah, pretty much. We're all cannon fodder at the
Into the meat grinders.
Literally.
Oh, boy.
All right, who wants to go first? What are you doing today?
Well, I have a question. Because I have kind of a idea, but it would be dramatic. So maybe I'll whisper it to you in Discord.
Okay. And you know what? Actually, Ira and Nina, before we continue, I do need to know your marks.
Yeah, that's
You choose as your mark.
my whisper.
Oh, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Nina, did you have one selected?
Well, I had a question. So if I share a premonition, does it have to be my premonition, or could I have visited a wise woman at some point in my life?
I just like either of those.
I just
Yeah.
imagined that you ate a bad potato and you just got high off of it.
How does one get high off
Some
a
sort of-
bad potato?
I don't know.
I'm throwing mine out.
Some sort
I
of
know I could get high from them.
It's a little, what is it, USSR ayahuasca is the potato.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think either of those interpretations will work well for Nina.
Can be either. Okay. All right. In that case, when I was a young potato.
I love it when your stories
tater
start
tot.
out like that.
You're young tater tot.
When I was a
Oh,
when I
that's
was
good.
a tater tot.
When I was a little tater tot, I was playing by myself along a dirt road, and a hunched over person. I did not know who this person was, but a hunched over person very softly goes to me. Child, I must tell you a thing.
Stranger danger. Just immediately is like, nope.
And so young little Nina Potato, who's very, very gets hesitant and says, I don't want to get too close to this person who's covered in a rag. But then her voice gets a little louder and she's like, child, one day you will do something glorious. But you must always have a potato with you in your pocket.
That's why. He hands her a potato and he's like, go, my child.
Oh my god.
Save the world. And that's how it began.
and so that is why Nina is so fond of the vegetable and cares for them and names them, and then at the end of their cycle ferments them because uses every part of them, as it were.
I want there to be one mission, like at the end of the campaign, you go on the plane and you hand Ira a bottle of vodka and you're like, you just nod and I get it and I'm like, yep, this is our lucky potato.
Today's lucky potato. Brought to you by Grey Goose.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So Ira, or rather Paige, what you're thinking you can do.
I can do this?
Yeah, you can.
Sweet. Okay.
It's bold. It's a bold move.
Thank you. I should have like whispered it just to you so the girls don't know, but
Soon everyone will know.
all right. So while we're relaxing during the day, everyone's there are people being wrapped up, there are people being cured, there's others doing just general inspections over their weapons and armor uniforms, and you can tell what kind of genre I play in. and as this happens, there's this sound off in the distance, and it sounds at first like a bird, and then it turns into screaming until everyone in camp realizes what it is, and it's a plane. Not one of ours, one of the German planes.
Shit.
And it flies over and just starts unloading bullets into our camp, and everybody in the camp starts panicking and reaching for their weapons. Multiple people go down. My throat is dying. Ira takes cover. She just dives into wherever she can under something, panicking, not thinking twice. And the dust settles, and they come back around until our other pilots that can actually shoot things down, they take to the skies immediately and gun it down, and it crashes near our takeoff zone. Just a smoldering, burning. And you can hear off in the distance just yelling and gunfire. And as the camp settles and Ira gets up and she looks over herself, checking if she's injured and whatnot, immediately a higher up points at her and starts yelling that we need medical attention to people, and she's willing to help. So she runs over to where other people have been injured, and one comrade catches her eye, and that is a Russian female name that I can't think of. Chat, give me a Russian female name that I can't think of. Please.
Thanks,
That will help
cool.
me.
A Russian female name, but it can't be one she's thought of. It has to be one she hasn't thought of.
Yeah. And but she recognizes her, and it's one of her Svetlana. Don't we have a Svetlana?
We do
Yes.
have a Svetlana, yeah.
That's me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that can't be Svetlana.
We don't have a Tatiana.
There we go. Yeah. Dave.
Dave.
Run over to Dave.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, Tatiana works. Yeah, so it's her one of her best friends, Tatiana, and she has a couple of bullets in her chest. And Ira immediately kneels down and starts to tend to her, and Tatiana's too weak to even lift a hand to stop her. And as Ira's doing her best to wrap up her wounds, Tatiana starts convulsing, and Ira doesn't know what to do, and she just watches this. And Tatiana goes limp, and her eyes are open, staring at the sky, and Ira just starts panicking, hyperventilating, breaking down crying, and stands, and another officer has to pull her away from Tatiana.
And as you're desperately trying to revive her or shake her out of this this stupor, it hasn't quite clicked in your mind that she's passed, and you see the plane. You hear kind of like a screaming, creaking crash, and you see a man rushing out holding a doctor's bag, and he's running up to other people, and he's ignoring Tatiana, and he's running to others who are less injured and starting to package their wounds. There's people following him with stretchers, and they're bringing them over to the makeshift hospital that you've set up on the camp.
Yeah, so Ira tries getting his attention over and over again, just screaming for him, screaming for a medic. And
he ignores you. He is focused on the living, and until someone, you feel kind of like you're so focused on getting medical attention, you don't see him come up, but you feel like a warm hand on your forearm, and you look up to see Yakov the mechanic. You met him in your training mission, and he's been here repairing your planes. And he looks into your eyes and says, Ira, he can't help her.
She's not breathing. She's not moving. She's just looking.
That's okay. Let's we can't help her anymore. It's time to say goodbye. And tonight we fight again.
I don't want to say goodbye. Not yet.
He kind of like holds you by the forearms and turns you around and sort of puts his arm around you and helps you walk away from the scene and says, they may come back. We cannot stand out here in the open.
Ira will just close her eyes, tears rolling down her cheeks, and just nod.
This is the scene that in the hospital, Svetlana and Sasha, you are getting looked at for these burns, when all of a sudden you hear these loud sounds and just everyone vanishes. All of the nurses, all of the doctors, all of their helpers just disappear, and they start coming back with people who are severely injured, and they're working on them. And you're mostly bandaged up. You're feeling okay, but you've gone pretty far down to the bottom of the list of necessity. What do you do in response to this?
I think Sasha would immediately be looking for her sister, and we weren't hurt enough that we couldn't walk. So I think once it's like not obvious she's like the first one coming in, she would just leave the hospital and immediately like start running around looking for her.
Okay. So I think you would. Cool.
Thank you. We have 2 mission points right now. Let me just double check and make sure. 1, 2, 3.
You guys are the best.
Yep, we have 2 mission points.
Thank you, chat.
We got one from Nick Morgan and this next one from Cool. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Sasha, looking for your sister. And well, let's Ira, where does she find you?
Probably out away from the field, because I would imagine, safety precautions. She finds Ira with a strange man that Sasha probably doesn't recognize, and he's holding a wound on his arm, and he's trying to calm down Ira, patting her on the shoulder, and kind of leaning in, almost looking like he wants to kiss her, but then doesn't and runs off, going to help the others. And Ira's visibly shaken. She's still shaking a little bit. And she just kind of stares at the grass and looks up at the sky for a moment.
Yeah, I think I will try to do like a reach out to try to have a conversation with Ira to make her impress of her. But I've been told kind of about this guy before, and now I've seen them, or at least him leaving.
And this is actually not her boyfriend. This is a different guy.
Well, I don't know the difference.
You might not know.
Yeah.
I thought it was someone else, but that works too. Then he wouldn't lean in. He'd probably like lean in to hug her and then realize that he can't. So
I think either way, Sasha has seen you having this intimate moment with somebody, so I probably would assume. And I just want to press it, like try to probably gently, because I feel like Ira's somebody that, if I was harsh, wouldn't necessarily get through. In fact, that might just spur more rebellious behavior. So try to impress upon her, wherever this goes, or if you're caught fraternizing with someone and it's a problem, like, they that won't hurt you. They will hurt me. And Mother. And whoever's still alive. Do you understand that? You're risking our lives. These infatuations.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I understand what just fucking happened, and this is what you bring out? Yes, I know all of that. Right now, I'm not thinking of that.
I understand, and I'm sorry for whatever just happened. But you're risking my life and our mothers, and you need to stop thinking about sometimes just yourself. That, whatever I just saw, wasn't about your friend.
The mechanic who works on our planes. He was the only one that was out there on the field trying to actually fucking help her. Trying to fucking help every other injured person on this block, and you come over here assuming that I'm having some relationship with him. No.
Yes, because that's what other people will assume. Do you think that... she doesn't even know quite how to say, like... what's the acronym for the KGB, essentially, before the KGB?
NKVD.
Yeah, NKVD.
Yeah, do you think an NKV officer is going to ask you why he was here, or what was going on? Like, no. They arrest you, if you're lucky, and then they arrest me, and they arrest Mother, and we're all gone to some camp in Siberia. Think about these things, what they look like.
I think about these things every day. You know, little pranks I pull and everything like that, but right now is not the time. He was simply pulling me away from a situation that I couldn't pull myself away from.
And you're letting yourself be pulled into another. Like,
I don't need this right now. Okay. I don't want this right now. I don't need it. I don't need to listen to this. I know the dangers of it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I am going to try helping bury the dead.
Sasha, can you roll to reach out? It's just a straight 2d6.
Straight 2d6. Alright. Let's see. We got a 9.
A 9. Okay.
It's not bad.
So you can choose one of these results, and keep in mind when you make a day move, you do get a harm because you didn't rest. You can remove one harm from you and Ira. You can change the target and or tone of a currently filled regard slot, which might be appropriate because Ira, maybe tell us what your regard slot is.
Where is that?
It's at the bottom of the first page of the character sheet. I don't know if it's on the one in the thing.
I can refresh your memory that she has regard for Yekaterina Razanosova, and it's a very much fear-based relationship. She's afraid of her because she's NKVD and Ira knows she could fuck shit up.
I don't know that I would change that. I think
maybe not. Maybe terrified now.
Yeah, if I could, I think that would be what she's trying to go for is not just like fear, but like very terrified. Like be deathly afraid of this person because that is like they're very severe, right? Like I don't know if I can make that regard worse or more strict, but you could, and I mean it can also be have another more subtle tone change that maybe Ira is like, well, what's the point kind of thing, like almost nihilistic about it. And then the third option is to add one to the mission pool. So if you do if you do this action without removing the harm, you do have 2 harm. I'm gonna roll with that. I think that makes sense between the injuries and now like the stress that's going on with her sister.
Okay. Awesome.
Sure.
So you're gonna go with regard. Are you gonna change that?
Oh, I have.
Yeah. Yeah, and if maybe just make it more serious, or I don't know what the best word for that would be, but change it from fearful, maybe even to respect, but not necessarily like in a positive way. Just
Yeah, maybe that's a good way to put it. Respect, like you know that their authority can be the demise of your entire family.
Yeah. Like it's not somebody to pull the mischievous pranks on, right? Like
They don't fuck around.
They don't fuck around.
So I have to change. Okay. I have to change my regard then.
Yeah, from fear to respect. Very cool. I think we'll get back to Svetlana in a moment because she's still in the hospital, kind of seeing this craziness go by. Yeah. Where's Nina in all this madness?
So I was first worried about Nadia, because she's nearby and I don't know what the extent of the damage is. So I think that would stress me out a little bit and I'd be looking for her. And I would have seen the exchange between Paige and Yakov because he's my buddy. I think I would appreciate him for trying to comfort her, but then run off looking for Nadia. Make sure among the dead or among the injured. So I'd go to the hospital or medical tent.
Medical ward.
Ward.
You don't see Nadia among the dead, and you don't see her among the injured. And you look for her for a couple of hours. You are, you're really trying, asking everyone, and I mean, you're pretty hopeful. No news kind of seems like good news at this point. And a couple hours later, you see a group of pilots, and you know what? Actually, this you have +2 forward on events regarding Nadia, so keep that in mind because you did a really solid eyeball last session. Anyway, so you are looking for her. You can't. You aren't able to find her, and I think actually I will get you to roll up an eyeball because she's really hard to find.
Okay.
Roll an eyeball. That sounds gross. Plus skill.
Skill. Oh boy.
Feeling 9. Skilled, are ya? Very nice. Okay. So, you now you have hold 1. You can spend your hold to ask a question like things like, how can I help her? What am I overlooking? What does she want? Where is she? Maybe that's a little on the nose, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Just, where is she? Much some random person.
I'm gonna go with where is she because I have this like very deep-seated need to make sure that she's okay, that she's alive.
Okay.
Whole.
So you end up by the runway, and you're asking around there, and one of the people who are operating the runway say to you, "Oh, the 586, they're kind of like points up to the air." And then he looks and sees a plane coming down and says, "Oh, I think they may be back. They were on board to fight the invaders. They launched a couple hours ago. They're just starting to come back. So keep an eye out."
Okay.
So you see plane after plane landing. In different formations, and every time a pilot gets out, it's a man, and they start kind of congregating, and they're talking to each other, they're exchanging battle stories, and they're actually seemingly pretty excited. Like it sounds like it went pretty well, and you wait, and finally the planes for the 586 land, and you see Nadia coming out of one of the cockpits.
Okay, so I get very, very emotional, but I keep it in and my eyes go a little bit glassy. Does she get close enough? Like, do we greet each other, or is she just
she sees you in the distance, and she begins running towards you.
Okay. So I like hold firm and try not to show too much emotion, but my eyes do get glassy because I'm just like so overwhelmed with joy to see her alive. And when she gets close to me, I kind of like tense up because there's people around, so I don't want her to, hug me or anything like that. But I touch my heart just tenderly, and I say, hello, comrade. I'm very pleased to see that you're alive. I hope you shot them to pieces. And some Russian word for badass that I have not been able to Google yet.
I believe the word that is roughly equivalent to bitch is suka. So if that ever comes up.
Yeah. So I call her a bad suka, and I say I look forward to see her her skills in action.
And she you hear the men behind her kind of they're celebrating, and they're talking about their kills. They're loud and boisterous, and she looks at you, and she's just like vibrating with excitement, and she says, "Hello, comrade," and leans in and says, "I got 3."
Ooh.
Nice. So, okay, awesome. And so I lower my voice a little bit, and I say, yeah, and I bet you fucking looked awesome doing it.
She takes off her helmet, and her hair like cascades down on her shoulders. Her glorious dark hair.
Yes, like very like L'Oreal,
Yeah. Slow mo. And then I need music for this. I don't know. I don't have any music for slow-mo hair reveals. I didn't think that would come
up. And then I lean back and I get all serious again, and I say that I look forward to flying missions together and killing Nazis gloriously.
She smiles, and she reaches into your pocket and pulls out Pavel and holds him up in front and says, "We'll make sure to bring him along."
Yes, and we need to get you an Alexei or something, because I need you to have a potato too.
That's how the turnips come to play.
She laughs and she says, well, you leave one on my bed tonight. I have another mission to run this afternoon. And she's like flushed, like she's excited. She's so pumped about this. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's killing Nazis.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's good.
That's awesome. I love it. Thanks,
and I say, "As you wish." And I'm already imagining which potato to put on her bed. It'll be the prettiest one, of course. The smoothest.
Oh my gosh.
The best romance ever.
Oh, I love Nadia and Nina. They're so delightful. And I don't. You did an eyeball, so that'll cause you to take 1 harm. Mm-hmm. And let's check in with Svetlana in the hospital. You are lying there, and people start coming in, and a doctor, one of the doctors, comes up to you and says, "Sergeant, we need this bed."
So I will nod, and I get up. I'm sure, I can stand, I can walk. I'm sure that the people who they're bringing in probably can't. or at least they're far bloodier than I am right now. So,
so he kind of sizes you up and says, would you be able to lift?
I can lift.
He nods and gestures you over to a stretcher that's just on the floor with somebody who's severely injured, and instructs you to grab the other end. And they kind of heave-ho this man into the bed that you were just in, and he kind of like looks around and sees that everybody else is busy and says, "Sergeant, do you have any medical training?"
Some.
And he starts directing you and asks you to grab things. And this person has some very bad bullet wounds, and he's checking to see, if anything's been lodged inside them. That he's cleaning things up and kind of getting you to fetch gauze and bandages and what's Svetlana's reaction? Is she jumping right in? Is she hesitant?
When everything was first starting to happen and Sasha jumped up and left, so like she thought at first to like follow after her, but she stopped herself because like there's a lot of there's the NKVD going around, and I have a hate relationship with them, but it's all one-sided. I keep it inside. And
deep down.
Yeah, deep down. So I don't want to be caught doing things against orders, since we were specifically ordered to go and stay in here and rest and recover. But I just I think about all of the things that could happen, because I put on my regard from that I do respect Sasha, and I think that and I'm worried for her, especially because it seems her sister is such a such an
carefully.
Such an attachment to that if something happens to her sister, what's going to happen to her? And so because I know that's her first instinct is to be the protective older sister, and so I worry for her because it's so easy to just lose the people you love the most. So what you do. And but then as everything was happening, there was a lot of activity. The doctor coming in and taking my bed kind of jump starts me into blissful ignoring that part, so I can just let that go and put it into the back of my mind, and I can just work essentially, doing mindless stuff. He tells me what to do and I do it. It's nice, even though it's very bloody work. But there's a lot that I would say that goes through her mind, is because she remembers when she had to bandage her own wounds and suture a gash on one of her friend's legs, and just the things that you just remember, that you pick up. He asks if I have medical training, and I said yes, but it's not from a medical school, it's from the school of life, where you have to pick things up or you or you die. And she's happy to be helping without having to worry about the consequences of her helping. So
and Svetlana would know that until you're discharged, your doctor's your commanding officer, and she has to follow his orders. So she he asks you if you can help, and that's really it. you get to the point in your care for this man after maybe about half an hour. You've patched him up as best you can, and the doctor finds a. He moves on to what is considered a less critical injury, but to you it looks pretty damn critical because this man's arm has been broken. It sits at an unnatural angle, and you can see it's the bone protruding.
Oh man!
And it's pretty gruesome and pretty rough. And he is looking. He's looking for supplies. He asks you to find a splint, but you aren't able to find anything. And he looks at it and says, "Sergeant, without a splint and proper setting, he could lose his arm. He's losing circulation. I need you to find something that we can use to splint his arm."
Is there a chair in here?
Let's get. Can I get you to do a scrounge roll?
Yes.
That'd be cool.
Okay, and that
Plus luck.
Plus luck. Oh, good. I have a negative in my luck.
So I'll read you the description. You can give me so whenever something specific is desperately needed, roll straight if going through the proper channels. Roll plus luck if you aren't so good with paperwork. I think you're going to have to roll plus luck because...
Yeah, because I'm literally going to take a chair and I'm going to smash it into pieces to get a splint. That's
Love it.
All right, hopefully. Oh. Nope. I don't know.
5.
Yeah.
Would you like to tempt fate?
You know what? Yes, this guy is either going to die or at the very least lose that arm if we don't get it done. So, yeah. So I'm going to try to do a guts. Okay. Oh, even worse.
Oh, no.
He's going to die.
Oh, boy.
He's gonna die.
He's going to die.
Fate is Asuka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Today's word, kids, is suka. It stands for
Son of a-
S is for. So you are scrambling to find this, and you find a chair, and you kind of like try to smash it, but it's of good Soviet make.
It's Russian.
Yeah.
And you kind of get I think that trying to smash this chair and failing at it, you start to, like, some of your stress from the last few days and this harrowing memory you've been trying to forget, this really terrible couple of runs that you've had kind of start to come to the surface. How does that manifest as you're working to get this damn splint out of this damn chair?
Oh my gosh. Like, it's like the helplessness. Like, I can't do the things that I need to do in order to, like, help someone. And then it just, like, there's, flashes of, like, I couldn't do anything to help Sophia. She just, I couldn't do anything to help Mama. I couldn't do anything to help Baba. I couldn't do anything to help this guy, and all of that is just, like, boiling into, like, this impotent rage. Where I end up most likely like hurting myself on the chair instead of breaking the chair. Like, like maybe like cracking something in my hand, or I smash it onto my foot instead, and it's just like this scream of anger, just like, fuck! My cat just ran away.
Oh no! I'm pissed.
So you, from this action, you're going to take one more harm, and you're slamming, and over the slamming, you hear, you don't hear it at first, but the doctor's like, hey, and you finally are able to relax for a minute. And he says, Sergeant, you're dismissed.
throw the chair down on the floor, just staring at him, just like, yes, sir. And then I'm gonna leave. I'm just gonna try to leave. I'm gonna go out of the tent that smells like blood and shit, and just into like the open air, just like fuming at like my own worthlessness. So
you
and I see my wrist is starting to bruise up. I'm like, oh my fuck, it's like, so it's like swollen, and I realize that what I've done, so I'm like gripping it like tight to make sure to keep like the swelling down, so somebody, people don't like see, and then I get in even like, worse medical stuff, and then I can't do anything. So like, then I can't fly, I can't do shit. So, yeah.
So the four of you, after this stressful morning, managed to rest for a few fitful hours before your next nighttime mission. And when you wake up, you're told that there is going to be a short service for the dead, for those who are not actively on duty at that moment, just before your briefing. Do all four of you go?
I go, definitely.
Yes.
Am I at 2 harm?
Yes.
Okay.
So Sasha and Svetlana are both at 2 harm.
Then yes, I will go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you head to the service, and they have the bodies are lined up and the graves are dug, and they're a couple of the commanding officers say a couple of words, and you see this doctor that you were under orders from earlier. He's standing off to the side, his head somewhat bowed, and he's holding a violin. And when the officers have finished saying their part, he nods at them and brings up the violin and begins to play a beautiful, sad, haunting song as they lower your comrades into their graves. And you see it's not much. Things were rushed, and death is frequent here. This is not the first time you've been to one of these, and as the bodies are covered up, how are the four of you feeling? Let's start with Nina.
Half somber, half grateful that it's not anybody I know today. Relieved a little bit. That like safe for the moment feeling, but a little. It's safe for the moment, but the attack very much surprised her, so anxious and on edge as well.
And Ira?
Ira's doing her best not to break down with everyone around. Her lip quivers, her eyes are glassy, and she's just filled with this overwhelming sense of rage and sadness. And she, I don't know if this is a Russian thing, but she would remove her hat, and I'm not going to because headphones are a bitch. And holds it to her heart, and she looks up at the sky and closes her eyes, and a little bit of that of her parents' past, or rather her mother who worshipped, and starts praying silently to herself to help her friend and everyone else's spirit and souls to be allowed into Heaven's Gate.
Sasha.
Yeah, I think Sasha is probably looking more between Ira to start with, and then Svetlana and Nina as well. And probably has more of that emotion of, at least it's not like my team or my squad. And it's just otherwise being very quiet and somber, but doesn't look overly sad. Somebody who's just trying to like block out the pain and not think about such things, right?
Svetlana?
Exhausted, like both emotionally and physically. So she's pretty stone-faced right now. Just watches them with a blank expression. Like she's there, but she's not, and she doesn't even bother to look at anyone else there. It's like she's forced herself to be present here in body, but perhaps not so much in any other capacity.
And the doctor finishes his song and nods, and once again another funeral has finished, and you wonder, how many more times will they do this? How much longer will this war last? And how long do I have before I join those people in the ground? But you can't really afford to think such thoughts, because your briefing is in 5 minutes. Is in 10 minutes, as a matter of fact. So we have just enough time for a 10-minute break.
Yay.
Before we get to your briefing.
I'm gonna go cry in my
Yay!
bathtub.
This is so sad. Let's play some
Yes.
happier music. Here we go.
All right.
Oh, let's get some inspiration to lead us out.
Okay.
Hang on a second here. Let me try that again.
You got this.
We got the Soviet anthem playing. I'm not hearing it on my end, but sometimes.
No, nothing here.
Nothing. Well, even the anthem has failed us now. Let's try this one.
I can hear it. It sounded great.
Oh, okay.
There it is.
There it
There
is.
we go.
Now I hear it.
This is not the anthem. This is a different one.
That's okay. It's still pretty
yes.
epic.
But it's also very, very intense. Yeah, we are going to take a quick 10-minute break, and then we will be back with Night Witches on Shadowcasters Network. Thank you so much to everybody who's donated. So hang on to those bits, because we only have 2 in our mission pool right now.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we're going to need your help. Well, they will. I don't need your help. But yeah, so we will see you all in 10 minutes.
Yay!
Hooray.
Nighttime. There we go.
All right. Welcome back, comrades, to Night Witches on the Shadowcasters Network. Can I get a affirmative that the inspiring sounds of the Soviet anthem are playing behind me?
Yes. They sound really good.
Okay, good.
I think I'm having the problem doing. Let me look at my
could be
volume
yours.
mixer.
We'll let you sort that out. I think I don't know if we have any new people, but if you're just joining us, we are playing Night Witches, Bully Pulpits, powered by the Apocalypse game. And we do not have anthems going.
No, I mean it says now playing Soviet anthem. I'm double checking right now to make to my sound settings, so it should be playing, but I'm not sure why it's not.
You might have to
Could be a file
refresh.
issue.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do that. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I'll do that as well. So anyway, we are playing a system as the real world 588th Regiment, 588th Soviet Air Bomber Regiment, the only all-female regiment in the Soviet Union World War II. Here we go, we've had an emotional first half. It has been difficult. We've lost a couple of friends, and we are moving into the final run of the night. So these women are going to be harassment bombing Nazis. Which basically means it's exactly what it sounds like. Basically trying to annoy the shit out of them all night long and make them terrified, and kind of get in, drop bombs, get out. So we are going to jump right into the briefing of our second run of the night. Everybody ready to drop some bombs?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
And I will remind our viewers, if you kill this stream boss, you're going to increase the mission pool. And we are going into this. 2 of our players have 2 harm. If you get 3 harm, you are incapacitated. I mean, you can still play the game. But once you hit 4 harm, that is the death of a character. So we are in a very serious situation. They probably shouldn't be fighting right now. But this is the war, and they are pretty damn pissed that their base got shot at today.
Yeah.
So
I think
let's
2 of these characters have anger issues that need to be taken out on Nazis. I think Nina and Sasha are fine, but Ira and
I'm ready to keep those fuckers awake. So
Yeah.
Right, they kept us
No,
awake,
sleep for Nazis.
assholes.
no.
Okay, so you go into this briefing, and you're all. It's very somber. The mood is very somber, and you're kind of just sitting and waiting, and it's really very quiet. Everyone's kind of thinking about what has happened and what they've lost, and Lieutenant Belozovska enters the room, and she's holding a small box, and she looks at Svetlana and says, Junior Lieutenant Petrovna, stand.
I stand up. Very
And she-
my heart just kind of stops for a second.
What
But then I realize the person from the NKVD is not in the room, and so maybe I'll be okay. So yeah.
She steps up to you, and she opens up the box, and inside is a medal. And you recognize it as the Medal of Valor, and she says, Svetlana Petrovna, for exemplary service in bombing the 1st Panzer Army headquarters, you receive the Medal of Valor. You make Comrade Stalin and the rest of your comrades proud. And she pins it to your chest. I'm
like clenching my jaw as it happens. Like, this should be a really happy moment, I guess, but at this point, she knows how much it cost to succeed in that mission, and she knows how much the past night of bombing has just worn on all of them, and then today, so any kind of yeah, I get a medal is very muted and subdued, and but she stands at attention as the medal is pinned to her uniform. You're like, thank you, sir.
She nods and dismisses you. And this last session, Svetlana, you were marked, and the mark you chose was getting a medal that you didn't deserve, and so I think there's a sort of an attitude in the room that everyone knows you didn't really do anything special last time. It feels like maybe they're just trying to up morale in some kind of weird way. So a couple of the others are kind of throwing you some shade,
some side eye.
Yeah, a little bit of side eye.
Throwing shade. Back in the day.
Lieutenant Belzovska is not. She's oblivious to this, and she strides in front of the airwomen. Her eyes are lit with excitement. It's sort of the opposite of what you'd expect after a day like today. And she stands up and puffs out her chest and says, "Comrades, we have repelled the fascists' attempts to advance. As we speak, they are turning their yellow tails and running. This is not the end of our time here. It's an opportunity. We can confuse and pick off those who have become disorganized. Your mission tonight is to target the center of their communications, creating confusion and allowing the rest of our comrades to destroy those that are scattered by their lack of direction." And so she points out on the map an area called Rostov-on-Don, and points out a couple of places where the targets are going to be. And she says they know that this is a point of vulnerability, so you can expect enemy fire. But this will be our final mission at this duty station. And she looks at Nina and says, "Sergeant, I'd like you to assign the roles for the planes in your section." So Nina, it's up to you. You can select our 2 pilots and our 2 navigators for this mission.
Sure. So let's switch it up. I think I was the pilot last time, so I'll be navigator. And I'll...
Svetlana hasn't flown with you yet. Just FYI.
Yeah. There we go. I was trying to figure out who had been with whom. So I'll be navigator for Svetlana, and then Ira was navigator for me last flight. So Ira, you'll be piloting with Sasha as your navigator.
Aragana gets excited. She keeps it in there, but she likes to be pilot. She likes the feeling of flying.
Yeah. So
excellent.
Let's do this.
Okay, so now, what planes do you take? We've got Baba Yaga and Peter are the 2 planes that we know. Are there any new planes out there? Maybe we can see if chat has any new and exciting planes. Because Peter has a kind of a closer connection to, Valeria has a closer connection to Svetlana. It's named after her mother, and Baba Yaga has a closer connection to Nina. So maybe there's a plane out there that's well connected to Ira or Sasha that we can flesh out a little bit today. So why don't we start? Nina and Svetlana, which one are you taking? Valeria or Baba Yaga?
So the Russian equivalent of rock, paper, scissors is potato, paper, scissors.
Yeah, no, that's
and then because I say that my preference is Baba Yaga, because she's gotten me through some shit.
Ooh, are we gonna have a roll-off?
Oh man, what are we rolling?
Why don't we just make it a straight 2d6?
Alright, who's rolling for what?
Do you want me to roll against you, Nina?
No, so Nina versus Svetlana.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Straight up. Up. You're probably gonna get it. Oh!
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, wait, my medals has changed. It's a +1.
It is a +1.
Oh.
But you were rolling a straight 2d6,
That's
so
right. All right. Yeah.
we're gonna have to
You're right.
re-roll.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotcha.
Roll.
Sorry, I forgot.
medals
I got
at
excited for
0.
a second.
I
Alright.
know.
Okay, I'm rolling again then.
Oh.
I'm rolling
versus-
so low.
Do I have to roll again too, or is it still 5?
You do, yeah.
Okay.
Oh man.
Baba Yaga it is. So you watch as someone else flies Valeria off.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get a better sense, I think, of Sasha and Ira's plane as we go through. But you launch off in Baba Yaga. What is it still Pavel that you've got, Nina?
No, so Pavel, he betrayed us last time.
Oh yes, you did.
So today we have Alexi, and
Alexi.
yes, he'll be guiding our way. But I have left a beautiful, like my most perfect potato. I have left for Nadia. For her to find, and I didn't draw a smile on it or anything because that ruins the complexion of the potato. And you don't want that.
It's one of those potatoes that already looks like
Right,
someone. So you
exactly.
handed it to them, and you're like, "This is Abraham Lincoln," but in this time, you're like, "This is Stalin."
Looks like Comrade Stalin.
Or
exactly.
even better, Lenin.
Yeah,
Because he's already like number 1.
And I've
There we
shined
go.
it. I shined it real good before I left it for her on her thing that is a pillow but not very comfortable. So.
Okay, so I'm gonna take Oz's suggestion
yeah, that sounds badass.
about the plane. The plane stands prouder than it actually can take credit for. It looks clean and strong, but is actually stripped of its interior. It's a metal hull with only requisite knobs and leaders. So you have like anything that makes the plane kind of feel comfortable, or like it doesn't really even have a dash. The dash is kind of like missing parts, but you have everything you need to fly. The plane isn't broken, but it's been stripped for other things. So this is a bare bones skeleton of a plane, of a type of plane that is already bare bones and skeleton. Okay, so off you fly. Now you head to this towards this target, and as expected, there are anti-aircraft waiting for all of you. So I'm gonna get right off the bat. We're going to start with Baba Yaga. I would like to get an enemy fire roll, and this will be from our pilot.
Who's piloting?
Who's
Is
piloting?
it me? Or no, is it you?
It's
It's
Nina.
me?
Nina's piloting. So
Wait.
Nina, roll plus luck.
I'm wayfinding.
wait.
I'm navigating.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
Svetlana's the pilot.
Okay.
pilot last time.
Oh man, we gotta roll luck. Fuck.
Got it.
Never mind.
I don't have luck either, and I love piloting for some reason.
7. Okay. So
We have 2 points right now in the mission pool, just FYI.
okay. So those 2 points wouldn't help you with a 7. You can tempt fate if you like.
Yeah, okay.
That's
Why-
also luck.
Is it luck or is it guts?
Was it
I think it might be
guts?
guts.
I always get it mixed up. I'm sorry.
That's great.
It is guts. Yeah.
Okay, alright. I'm I should
Wait.
not
That
tempt fate.
pained look is just like.
No, you didn't. Okay, so you are going to take 2 consequences, and Svetlana, in addition to taking these 2 consequences, you're also marked. So think a little bit about that.
Okay.
So you here are the options. You and your
Okay.
fellow airwomen are marked. casualties on board, so split 5 harm between the two of you. Plane is damaged, or another plane in your section goes down. These are 3 plane sections, so we've got another plane that's going alongside you. And we haven't really had much chance to flesh them out very much, but
yeah. Now, I do have a question. With a gut roll, can I use a point to get it to 7?
You could, yeah.
I think I would like to do that.
Okay.
So it's not as horrible.
Yeah, and this mission pool is looking a little thin. So any help you guys can give, I've modified the game slightly to account for the many donations we will get.
Yeah.
with our mission pool.
And we have 488 hit points left on the stream boss. So if you guys can help out, we really need it.
It would help us a lot.
We'd really like to survive. I mean,
just one more game, man.
I really like Ira. I really like our other characters. Like,
oh man. Okay, so you do succeed. And
oh my god, Eric!
Yeah,
Eric. Oh my gosh! All right, so that's another on the mission pool, eh?
Yes.
So we're at 2, back up to 2.
yes.
So I think that you do succeed, but not without consequences. Bread and potatoes for all.
Thanks,
Not
Rob.
without consequence. Your plane is damaged. You're already you've got your potato in place, but it did not prevent a hole from being torn in the side of your
Yeah,
plane.
you're amazing.
Oh my gosh, we got
Holy
another
guacamole.
point. And I'm actually
Thank you.
doing some
Thank
math
you,
right
comrades.
now. Because I
Thank
think
you.
I might need to move the stream boss down a little bit. So I'm gonna do that while we're at it. So continue.
Oh shit!
Oh no!
Quick, run free! Grab all the
No!
experience points.
Yes, everything! Oh my gosh! Oh
Plus
no!
1 to all.
Go back.
Hello?
She's back. She's back.
Sorry,
That's fine.
I don't know what happened there.
That's okay.
We were secretly advancing when you were gone.
Everything's fine. Hitler's dead.
Yay!
That is true. Yeah. So.
Technically true. True. This is weird because Discord is like loading up and it's like, please sign in, and I still can hear you.
That's so
Weird.
Yeah, it's doing its thing. Okay, well, while my computer is doing its thing, let's get our other pilot, which is Ira, to roll plus luck for
Sure.
getting through enemy fire.
Mhm.
Why not? Because I am such a lucky duck.
Yes, you are. Let's do this.
Hopefully you shoved a potato in my. No, you didn't. You didn't.
Sorry.
I will tempt fate. That's guts, right?
It is guts. Yep.
Oh god, 3. Oh no!
6 and a 3. Very good.
Yeah,
Okay.
oh my gosh.
Okay.
We only have 3 points, so it wouldn't change anything right now. If you used all 3. Fuck.
Rough.
Well-
Okay, Ira, you are marked. So think about that. And you choose 2 consequences, same as before. You can split 5 harm. Plane is damaged. Another plane in your section goes down. By the way, I get to pick which plane it is, so keep that in mind. And you and your fellow airwomen are marked, so you could take 2 marks.
I'm gonna take 2 marks. I'm gonna play it safe.
Okay, so Sasha, you are marked alongside Ira, and we need one other consequence. You get to pick 1 more.
Oh, I do?
Yeah, so casualties on board,
Shit.
splitting 5 harm between you and between the 2 of you. Plane is damaged, or another plane in your section goes down.
I really don't want our plane to be damaged this early, but I also don't want to hurt myself or my sister more than she already is hurt.
Yeah, she's already at 2 harm.
Yeah.
You couldn't handle much. In fact, that would kill one of you.
I think damaging her ship is going to be the best. I mean, it is a skeleton after all.
Okay. So both Sasha and Ira, think about your marks. And our plane is damaged. So there are giant anti-aircraft guns, just like searchlights hitting you as soon as you get there. It's going to be a little bit tough to wayfind, but I think Nina, I think you've got it. You've got it covered. You
Okay.
roll plus skill.
Whew. All right. And 7.
Well,
Qualified
not a
success.
6.
Not a 6.
Not a
Not a
six.
6.
So you can tempt fate, or you can take 1 consequence.
So before we go too far, just so everyone knows, I did the math. Technically, there is 124 points left in the stream boss right now. I just don't know how to fix that. Like I know how to reset the stream boss, but I don't know how to do a current health on the stream boss. So 124 points, and we get another pool thing.
Mission
Fourth,
pool
yeah.
point.
Yeah, and the stream boss is still cool.
Nice.
How many? So I've got 1 harm marked off on my sheet. I'm still at 1, right?
Can you remind me what you took that harm from?
That
from
was
taking an action. Yeah, you have 1 harm.
okay. So I can. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna keep it interesting and roll guts because I've got +1 in guts. So
Okay, let's do it.
we'll tempt fate. And
Out of the park. Oh man.
I'm telling, it's the potato, man. I'm telling you.
Oh my
potato.
gosh.
A number of times, we've done it like 4 or 5 times where you guys have failed and then rolled like a 12 on guts. I love it.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a communications center. What does it look like when you line up the perfect drop?
Okay, so I'm lining up the perfect shot for Svetlana, and I let her know that the target is just up ahead, so we don't have to go very far, I hope. And if it's a communications center, Chat, what do communications look like in the 40s? World War II.
I imagine a lot of wires.
Yeah, I'm thinking a lot of wires, no satellites, because that's a little later.
Yay!
A radio
Oh, yay!
dish.
We got one more.
Hooray.
So now we have 1 more point in our mission pool. I have to reset the stream boss, but it is still cool. Who is our stream boss?
Yay! Oh, okay, there's towers. Awesome.
Now we're back to normal. Okay.
So let's go with I tell Svetlana that there's 2 towers just like lining it up. It's kind of like a runway. And just like ready for her to drop her load just right in there. And trying to think of something like
Epic.
yeah, something epic. Something
That's every day of my life whenever I stream. It's epic. I understand.
Oh, the epicness is not coming to me, but it'll. I might interrupt you with epic.
Why don't we get that attack run plus guts from Svetlana, and if Chad has some epic
So now we
detail that Nina likes, we can add
Yeah,
that.
and right now we're back at 3 in the, because I think I used 1, so now we're back at 3 for our current mission pool. Oh god. Fuck.
You got this. You got this. You got this. Have faith. You got this.
Like, I'm really nervous about rolling
Yeah, I'm worried about failing too.
So I rolled a 6, so I can do the thing where I try rolling again, but I kind of don't want to because every time it's been worse.
Use our points, man.
So I'm gonna go ahead and use a point, push it to 7, so it's a success, and that's what I'm gonna do.
All right. So
I'm
you've
down.
2 points. You've got qualified success here. So select 2 consequences. Either the damage to the target is not significant and it's your fault. You fly through a storm of flak, which would trigger an enemy fire roll. A plane in your section is damaged, but they're both damaged at this point. Or you and your fellow airwomen are marked. Now, I'm gonna have to check about the whole damage situation because
Yeah, because man.
I think that starts to get, once you get damaged twice, I think some serious shit starts to go down.
Right, so both of our planes are damaged right now? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, each one of you has
Okay.
damage.
Okay. So some more damage. Or it's not as great and it's my fault. Okay, so I think thematically with what has been going on with Svetlana and just like the way that she's been feeling lately, like that she has not been able to help people or succeed at what she needs to do. I think that I'm probably gonna pick the it's not as good as it was and it's my fault.
Okay. So you do need to pick 2.
Okay.
So either you're triggering enemy fire, plane in your section is damaged, or you and your fellow airwomen are marked.
Okay.
That means
I gotta
all
pick
of
one.
us, right?
No, me and Nina.
Oh, okay.
Just us.
Oh man, one more. Fucking shit. Okay. How do you feel about being marked?
I was gonna say that I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I wanna go with that.
Yeah, I think so because I don't feel comfortable with myself going through another enemy fire round.
Yeah.
And I'd really like to save some points for the other plane. So
That's fair.
So yeah, we'll do marked. So it's my fault and we're marked. There we go.
Okay, so your
So I have-
hit is
Yeah, I have 2 that I
not
can.
great. You kind of do some damage to a wall, but it doesn't look like any of the towers or anything were hit too well. And so 2 of you can start thinking a little bit about your mark. Next up, we need a wayfinding roll from Sasha. So you see your crew go ahead of you. They've dropped their bombs, maybe lighting it up, giving you a little bit more, little bit of help figuring that out. So you can roll plus skill.
Alright.
Find for us.
Yeah. 8.
8.
Nice.
Excellent. Are you gonna stick with the 8?
Am I the last to go, or we still probably need more of these points, aren't we?
What are we at? 3?
3?
I think right now, I think actually we might be at 2, because I used 1 to make sure that I didn't completely fail. Or yeah. So
Right,
that's where we're
2
at.
in the mission pool.
And our aircraft is damaged, isn't it?
It is damaged, and I'm
Okay.
just trying to quickly check to see what multiple damage does.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, like, I could use it just for the natural success. If not, we've got a lot of consequences going
Okay,
on.
Oz says we should be at 3, so I'm gonna go with that because I do like a bigger number.
Works for me. That's kind of what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
Gotcha, thank you. Thanks, Oz. Keeping us honest.
Alright. I want to make this interesting. So we still have more rolls to go, though, right?
Sorry, what was that?
We still have more rolls to go. Like if I use the 2, we have 0 for any other rolls we're doing.
At least one more roll, yeah.
Okay. When we get to the landing, we can still use the points for that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to roll for an attack run, and then each of you will have to roll for wheels down.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
I should not
Yeah,
be a pilot.
Then on that note, I'm gonna take the 8 and I'll do the consequence.
So if your plane is damaged twice, it immediately crash lands or disintegrates in midair.
Oh my god!
Not great. Okay, so you're taking a consequence.
I just love how casually you said that.
So your options are: your plane is damaged from a minor mechanical failure,
no,
triggering enemy fire, or you split to harm because you're kind of stressed and banged around.
I'm gonna split to harm.
Probably what?
Oh my god.
So that'll mean.
Can I take all of that harm? Because then I will be at 2 out of 4.
You actually, I think you already have 1 harm because you did a
You did an action.
Oh, well. Fuck
So
me.
one of you will be at 3 and one of you will be at 2.
Yeah, so we'll split it, and then and me being more in the front or the back probably will get banged around more.
Alright, Sasha, you're at 3 harm, and Ira, you're at 2. 1 more harm, Sasha, and you won't be able to take it. It'll be that'll be the end for you.
I'll wait till we reveal for what it is. I imagine how she's actually harmed, and I have that in my head, but I'll wait because Ira wouldn't know right now. Probably.
No.
Yeah.
Ira's just she sees that you're up and that's fine. Like you're up and alive.
Yeah, probably a little light, very woozy, but it still looks for the most part like she's conscious and whatnot.
Okay, so we have 3 mission pool points. We have an attack run, 2 wheels down runs to go. Ira, can you roll your attack run? Sasha's lined you up quite well, despite feeling a little banged around.
Is this plus luck?
This is plus guts.
Oh. I'm more comfortable with that. 9!
Hey.
Good, a 9.
Nice.
Are you going to accept a consequence, or are you going to add 1 from the mission pool and make it an unqualified success?
We have 3, right?
Yes.
Correct.
I'm gonna add 1 to the mission pool. Just because I don't want another consequence.
Right. We're pretty.
It's getting fucking heavy in here.
This is good. This is good stuff. Okay, so describe your awesome, amazing bomb drop. How you dropped
Oh, bomb drop. Yeah.
Yeah, you did it great.
Yeah.
So okay, Ira, the whole plane shakes a little bit from getting shot at. It's probably smoking. There's strange sounds that Ira's never heard before from a plane, and she's a pretty good mechanic, so she doesn't know what's going on. And she just blocks it out and focuses, and she thinks back to when she first came into the regiment and she met Tatiana.
Ooh.
Yes?
Palmer donated $2.50. We have a very small amount left on our stream boss.
Oh my god, chat, you could save us again. I said could. But Ira thinks back when she first met Tatiana in the regiment, and how close they got, how many pranks they pulled and got away with it, the times that they ended up
There we go. 88
drinking.
points to be exact.
Shut up, Cassie.
I'm sorry.
You're derailing my mind.
I'm really good at that.
And she remembers the times that they pulled pranks and got away with it, and all the times they stole vodka from the men and got super wasted with all the other female regiments, and even spending nights with the men and sharing stories and showing off that they're better than them in some way, even if it's little white lies. And she sees this their target, and she just thinks of that, and she thinks of her sister yelling at her about fraternizing with people and how that could affect all of the family and her and everything. And Ira's just furious, and she lines it up beautifully. And as the bombs drop, Ira says something in Russian, which is along the lines of, I'll see you in hell. And it's this glorious slow motion of a bright white light and the orange clouding up into this nice fireball flame. And Ira kind of leans back and exhales. And feels a little bit better for this one moment. There's nothing that's weighing on her mind, and even the thought of her best friend gone. Because she knows that deep down, it hurts. But she'll be there with her someday.
So you have completed your mission with mixed success, plenty of harm, plenty of marks. So think about how we'll resolve those. But it's not over, because it's time to go back to base.
Oh my god.
I feel like landing's the worst.
I know.
It is.
Just saying.
And really, taking off in any aircraft and landing it is the worst part of the entire thing.
That's true.
Oh my god. I'm so...
We got this. We got this.
I would like
Cassie, look at your camera. Look at me. We got this.
That's up to you. You gotta land the aircraft.
I know. We got it.
Oh, and thank you to Cool. We now have
Yes.
3 points in our mission pool. We have 2 wheels down rolls. And this is make or break a mission. This can be real rough or real triumphant. So, just barely scraping your way through this, you see the fiery hay bales, and I'm gonna get you to roll plus skill.
Okay.
Not so
Let's
ideal.
do this.
Alright, I'm doing it.
We got this.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Nice.
I am going to use 1 point.
Use one.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh god.
All right. My turn, right?
Yes. So, let's give Svetlana a moment to describe.
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh. So
Exciting.
she knows that that she got set up real good and she didn't do what she did, and the last thing that she needs on her mind now is like, if she doesn't land this plane and Nina gets hurt because of it, she's gonna
lose it.
She's gonna lose it. And so, like, she focuses on the hay bales, and the wind is kind of like, pushing us a little bit, like, to the right. And so I'm like leaning in heavy more to the left, and I'm just like eyeballing it for a few minutes, and then like the wind just kind of stills right at the last moment, so I can just glide down right into a perfect landing without any incident. So yeah, I feel pretty good about it.
All right, 2 points left. Ira, it's your turn to roll plus skill.
I got this shit. I'm confident that I will nail it. I didn't nail it. I'll use the things. Okay. Here's the thing. If I tempt fate, that's guts, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Sure, I'll tempt fate. Fuck
You
it.
probably should, because we only have 2 points, so you'd still...
Yeah, that'll get me up to 6. I don't know how better that would be.
No,
And it wouldn't be better at all.
Guts.
Hey! Yes! Nice!
I'm like, Sasha's gonna die!
I told you the hidden potato would work. God damn it, I told you.
Okay, this skeleton of a plane. And I think we're gonna have to
Give it a
get
cool
good
It needs a name.
skeleton name. Chat. We need a good skeleton name. And this, I think, and something to describe its personality. Let's get a description from Ira to see how this badass landing happens.
Yeah. Okay. But I'm not gonna name it potato. as you know, Svetlana lands. That's hard to say for some reason. As they land perfectly and smoothly, Ira starts focusing on the track, seeing the hay bales line up, and she realizes that she's going a little too nosedivey at first, and she starts pulling back, and she flies right over the other plane that just landed, goes a little further out, and as they hit hit the ground, this muddy, smooshy ground, one wheel starts to sink, and then the other one starts to sink, and then they find their tracking, and it's this smooth stop, basically to slow down speed. Ira kind of turns the plane a little bit, and it gives it a little drift.
Nice.
So it's badass. And then as the plane stops and as it all settles and Ira turns off the plane, Ira just kind of leans back and takes a huge exhale and looks back to her sister.
And Sasha, what does she see? What injury has Sasha suffered?
Sasha's currently probably unconscious. She's got blood pouring from her mouth and kind of a hand pressed to her side, and in the dark you can probably just see this black wet stain all up on her left side.
Yeah, Ira immediately unbuckles and pulls her and carries her out, piggybacking her to safety.
So you're pulling your sister away from this perfectly landed plane. Let's talk about our new marks. How has this
How many marks do I have?
You have 2. Ira has 2. Everybody else has 1.
Oh, of course. Okay. Guys, I think I'm gonna die first, just saying of how many marks I'm taking.
Marks are interesting. Once you get to a certain point, you can't take them anymore, and your doom is essentially inevitable.
Yeah. The last one's embrace death and face your final destiny. If once we're out of marks and once we're there, it's you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Has anyone selected theirs?
I think I have selected mine.
But I don't want to tell you in this session.
Okay. We can resolve it later. Sasha, I think Sasha has gone through quite a lot already.
Yeah.
Can't find my. But yeah, I think I know which one I would like to do. I think I would like to make a friend.
Okay.
I think I would like to make a friend of Nina. She's a very competent and skilled navigator, and she's a better navigator than I deserved. And I think that even with all of her strange talk about potatoes for luck, maybe there's something to it. You know? I mean, we all have to believe in something, and if she believes that freaking potato is going to help her survive this war after everything that we've been through up to this point, why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not indeed?
Because Svetlana was definitely looking for, or not realizing that she was looking for something to latch onto, something that would make it worthwhile to keep going with the women that she's with, and Nina's so happy and so chipper, even in front of all of this death, and maybe that's something that Svetlana can kind of latch onto. So yeah.
Very cool.
Very cool, but I think that's very cool. I'm a little biased, obviously, because there's so many lovely things said. And I decided to go with earn a medal you don't deserve because I could not think of something epic for those towers. Oz had a good one, but we couldn't use it, so I'm gonna go with the medal.
Nina earns a medal she doesn't deserve. Okay. So Sasha's playing it close to her chest. What about Ira?
I took tell a war story and to make a friend or take a lover.
Ira tells a war story. What is that something you want to resolve right away?
I mean, I should because we have time, but like Paige's brain is
unless
not
it's-
fully working.
That's totally fine. We can
So
resolve
like
that later.
yeah, I don't know what it is about Ira, but my improv skills fucking tank when I'm playing Ira. So
It's so close to real life. There's so much going on. It's a very heavy thing. Sometimes it's,
yeah, and in
hard.
real life, if all my friends know that real life Paige, not on stream Paige, is very quiet. So, yeah, but making a friend, I would imagine that same mechanic that ended up comforting her and everything like that. I would imagine he's the one that helps Ira take Sasha to the hospital wing and stays with Ira and Sasha, making sure that they're okay.
Yakov, yes.
Yakov.
Now, actually, you don't see Yakov around.
Oh, well, fuck me. Okay. Well, can he still be my friend, or can I just make up a medic?
Sure, be your friend. Yeah.
Great.
He's not there to help out with the hospital situation, but
Sweet.
so you bring Sasha to the hospital. She's bleeding out. And do all four of you go, or is it just Ira with her sister?
I will definitely go. I am very concerned about Sasha.
As am I. Yeah, I push people out of the way so that there's space for Sasha.
So the same doctor, Svetlana, that you met up with earlier, that you saw earlier, and who was giving you orders, is the one who receives her and begins to treat her. Things are less hectic than they were before, but it's still kind of the same level of overworked, lots of injuries, lots of work to do, and so he kind of he takes her off her hand and says, "How did this happen? How did she get injured this badly?"
We got enemy fire.
Any chance of shrapnel?
The plane was damaged. Yeah.
Okay. And he starts ordering other nurses and workers around and begins patching her up. Sasha, you are completely unconscious?
I think so, yeah. Probably from blood loss at this point.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be a long recovery for Sasha. She needs to rest for a good long time. And the rest of you have a debriefing to get to.
Debriefing's always nice. I always feel good on our runs, and then we get back to the debriefing, and they're like, "You fucked up," and I was like, "But I did it."
Yeah. Okay.
I leave my flying potato by Sasha's bed.
Oh.
Ira fucking like goes when you do that because she knows.
Just put it next to her, and I don't look at the doctor directly in the eyes, but I ask that they please come around a little bit more often to check on her.
Yeah, Ira would too.
And they kind of give a nod and say, "We take care of everyone." And get back to it.
Right.
All right,
Let's go
so
to this debriefing that's probably gonna kick our ass.
You head to this debriefing, and the lieutenant gives you a couple of points and mentions that the damage wasn't as significant as they'd hoped, but she's not. Normally, you would kind of expect to be chewed out, but you, sorry, I just saw demand that doctor's full attention.
Right? I almost thought about pulling rank with my medals for a second, but I think that she's gonna pull through. But if she's still like not doing well in the next like day or two, yeah, Svetlana's totally gonna pull rank, use her medals to her advantage. So,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. Are you actually doing that? Or are you trying to?
No, not right now.
Not right now, okay.
I've got to survive too. So, but
yeah, and Ira's not in great shape either. She's injured as well.
Yeah, I have 2 harm.
And the other 2 of you, you're also 1 harm.
Mm.
Okay, so you the briefing you kind of expected chewing out, but it's pretty quick actually, because Lieutenant Belozovska she says, we're going to be transferring to a new duty station soon. With the Germans routed, we have to focus our fire elsewhere. So for the next several days, your work is to continue to repair our planes and get everything ready to go. And during this whole time, the NKVD officer Ekaterina Rezanosova is sitting, and she's kind of got her eyes are sharp, and she's kind of watching you all very carefully.
Ira gives her the stink eye stealthily.
I definitely try to avoid locking eyes with her for sure.
Do any of you have any questions for Lieutenant during the briefing?
I do, yes. Is everyone in the regiment, including the men and other women, going to be traveling?
Well, we not all have received their assignments. Not every there will be likely new regiments joining us, and some will be reassigned to other locations.
Oh no, your boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So she fields a couple more questions, concludes the briefing, and cedes the floor to Rezanosova. The more I say it, the better I get at it.
Just say it like 5 times in the mirror.
Rezanosova stands, and her cheeks are flushed, her eyes are sharp. She's an imposing figure. She's tall and lean. Her hair's tightly pulled back, and her crisp, well-fitted uniform contrasts sharply with your ill-fitted, modified men's clothing. She stands in silence and kind of looks hawk-like at all of you for a moment and says, "Comrades, snakes slither among us. The fascists thought that they could infiltrate our base and find out what we know. The Russians are not so easily fooled. Head directly to the parade grounds. We gather at 600 hours to show the Nazis the superior strength of the Soviets." So the 4 of you fall in with your fellow airwomen, and when you arrive on the grounds, there are already other pilots and specialists and soldiers gathered, standing in formation at attention, and the 588th takes their place among the ranks. And you see, for the first time, Major Maria Roskova, the founder of Night Witches and the commanding officer of the entire regiment. She calls out a curt order for attention and silence as you form up. And you notice that speakers have been erected on tall poles, and there's, in front of the gathered soldiers, a microphone has been set up. After several moments, Ekaterina Rezanosova, hey, I nailed it, marches in front of the gathered troops. She's walking alongside 3 men, and they're followed by several soldiers who flank 2 men and 1 woman, their faces covered in burlap sacks. They limp alongside with rough assistance from their escorts who force them forward by the elbow, and they're brought just in front of this microphone and forced to their knees on the ground. A lean man with dark eyebrows and a perfectly trimmed mustache paces in front of them. "Comrades!" he shouts into the microphone. His booming voice is amplified by the tinny speakers and with a loud squeal, and he steps back. Comrades, we have always known that we are stronger than the fascist scum, and that when they attempt to infiltrate us, we will crush them like insects. We have found 3 among us who have sympathized with the enemy, and today we give them their due. He nods, and one of the other men removes the first man's hood. Fresh cuts bleed rivulets down his left cheek, and in place of his right eye is a gaping, bloody hole. Yakov Fomenko, guilty of passing secrets to the enemy.
Oh my god.
Ekaterina removes the second hood to reveal the face of a woman unfamiliar to you, covered in similar injuries, and you hear gasps from your sister regiment, the 586th Fighter.
No.
Senya is Sorosova, guilty of attempted desertion. The final hood is pulled away, and almost beyond recognition, Ira sees the face of her secret lover of Villemir.
Don't do this. No, I knew it.
And the enemy agent known to us as Villemir, whose true name is Kurt Mueller, guilty of attempting to infiltrate the mighty Soviet Union to pass classified information to the fascist Nazi scum.
No. I was saving him for death of a friend and a lover. I should have taken that mark. My best friend's dying, and now my boyfriend's dying.
For these crimes and other, I sentence these 3 to death. The 3 NKVD officers draw their guns and press them into the base of their prisoners' necks, and Villemir lets out a strangled sob. Fire! 3 shots ring out simultaneously, and 3 bodies slump to the ground.
Ira doesn't look at this. Even if it's visible, she turns away.
The mood is not is somber. No one is excited about this calling out of their comrades, people they knew, and a ripple of fear goes through the entire regiment. And you see they take the 3 away. You're dismissed and told to go pack up for the next duty station.
Oh my gosh.
And with that, we finish our second session of Night Witches, where shit got real. Shit got real.
Too real.
Just like... Fuck. Like, because she's, like, Svetlana saw it. Svetlana saw who was standing up there, and now she, you know, it's like... Fuck. Oh my god. This is so bad. Yeah, Svetlana did close her eyes for the kills. She didn't need to see any more death. She's seen enough. She's seen that exact same thing happen to people that she knew and cared about in Ukraine, so she doesn't need to see any of that. Oh my god.
My throat hurts right now because I'm trying not to cry on camera. It's real.
Well, let's bring our hearts and minds away from Soviet Russia in 1942 and go back to 19. What year do I think it is? 2019. That's the year I think it is. I want to give you guys a minute if you need it.
Oh man, like
I want to hear your Maybe we need to debrief a little bit.
Oh my god.
Now, I will say I'm very curious about Sasha.
Oh, Soymage had a good doctory thing. What did he say? What did he say? She's critical with shock, potential septic, deep trauma. She's looking at 5 hours or more of surgery. Maybe she'll survive.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she's not in good shape. And I'm interested to hear about your mark. We'll chat off screen. And I have a very important question.
Mm-hmm.
Starts for Stream Boss.
Ooh, the stream boss is cool.
Cool. That's very
Nice.
cool. Okay, cool. You need to find me. We need to find each other. And we're going to make ourselves an NPC for next session. And I promise I will not try very hard to kill them off. So if you're on Discord,
Oh my
cool,
gosh.
I posted my Discord handle, so you can hit me up there. Or I don't really check the Twitch messages very often, so I might miss that one. And you and I will put together an NPC for next time. Our Stream Boss NPC for this session had a lot of very important work to do and didn't get a chance to be introduced to Doctor, the violinist Doctor.
Oh, okay.
Being still in the hospital, maybe he can come in next time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's got some background that we can. He's got some background that we can delve into a little too later on, perhaps, depending if he moves with your regiment or not. Yeah.
Gosh.
So I think with that, why don't we wrap up and hear a little bit about ourselves IRL. Let's start with Sabrina.
Sure. God damn, I thought I'd lost my Nadia there.
Oh, good for you!
I was like, fuck, I lost Yaka.
You know what? She's gonna die!
Oh my gosh,
and it's gonna fucking suck!
I did lose Yakov. I'd like to point that out.
You and Yakov had a connection.
Yeah, he was my friend. That was rough, man. Jeez. Okay. So Sabrina, IRL. What am I plugging? So I'm plugging Shadowrun Anarchy because I'm an avid fan. Play it, and my very good friend GMs it. So please watch it because it's a wonderful show. I saw Once Upon a Tabletop. I saw it yesterday, and it was fabulous. I would highly encourage everybody to go watch it.
Thank you again, sweet child, because I was there.
In my real life, I'm an housing policy advocate. So please reach out to your nonprofits and ask them why your rent is so high and do something about it.
Yeah.
And that's my plug.
Okay, let's hear from Cassie Levitt.
Yeah, I'm an independent contractor who does content creation for Roll20, among other things. And then I will plug The Variants, which I think is back on next Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so check that out. It should be fun. Play Mutants and Masterminds, 3rd edition, in the Optiverse. It's a big good time.
Fun. Very fun. Cassie Polhammer.
Yeah, so I do a lot of shit, guys. I have so many things. So first off, I also have my Twitch channel first. We do stuff over on Original Box Set. I'm posting it in the chat-ish area, so let's see what's going on there. We have picked up our Shadowrun game. I believe that it will be 2 Sundays from now, so that will be the... What is this date? I can't tell. There we go. it's moving slow for me, guys, because I'm like doing all sorts of stuff on this computer. The 14th of April, we're gonna have our next Shadowrun session, and you can also check out our calendar over on originalboxset.com. We have it, I think, mostly updated now with everything that we're doing on our live stream, etc. I think there's even a permanent link to our Discord channel. If there's not, I'll put it in the chat somewhere sometime. But on a personal note, I make soap. I make a lot of soap. I'm making so much soap, I don't even know where to put it right now. So you guys should buy it. Start buying it right now. You can go to purealchemysoaps.etsy.com and check me out. If you're into role-playing games, especially fantasy role-playing games, I create your character sets. You choose your race, your class, your alignment. Gets personalized with your character's name. Shipped off in a nice little fancy box for you. Super awesome. I'm also making shower gels. And I'm really excited because I am actually going to be testing out sanitizers. Hand sanitizers. When you go to conventions, like for real, you need to sanitize the hell out of everything. So, if you find me at a convention, buy it, and then you will be preventing disease. Rampant disease. So, anyway, that's what I got for you guys. Ask me.
Keeping us clean. All right. Paige.
Hello. I am Paige. Bear with me, my brain is in a huge depression mode. So I'm very emotional.
I love you. Oh, wait. Here, I'll save you a couple more seconds.
Oh, thank you.
Don't worry. You got it. Also, this Saturday on the Shadowcasters Network, we are going to be back in the Shattered Isles. Once again, Paige will be joining us as Thomas, the mage, with...
I would pull my hat out, but it's way over there.
And I'm really excited because we are in Spindlehaven, and it is like Moss Eisley on steroids, so I'm super excited to see what kind of misadventures Thomas and Co-Drug get up to. You guys should check it out, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on the Shadowcasters Network.
Yes. Last time Thomas was approached by a female and said, "I like you, let's date," and he had to tell her, "I'm gay." So that was fun.
Yep.
Alright, my turn to plug shit.
Yeah, there you go.
Hello! My name is Paige, and I normally do a lot of things on here. My brain's a little scattered. I do artwork for a living. Here, have all my links to my shit. The first one is Instagram, where you can see my artwork and go, "Ooh, look at that troll that she just drew. He's so handsome." Yeah, that's a troll from my Shadowrun game on Sundays on 5e.
Excellent.
Who's actually the players in chat, I think. But yes, you can also look at my other artwork and go, "Hey, I want that." And guess what? You can buy it and give me money so I can live and buy food and you know, one day move out of my mom's house. If you don't like any of my artwork, that's fine. If you don't like any of the artwork that is on my Instagram, which has all of my artwork on it, you can also, if you don't like it and you also like my style, you can commission me and I will draw something for you. The last thing that I said, you could ask me, you could, anything. It could be anything. Yeah. It could be anything. The last time I said you could draw a frog, I could draw a frog with legs, if you want that. Human legs, if you want that. And,
frog with legs, what?
Other than that, I do a lot of other shows on Shadowcasters Network. I do Join the Anarchy, which is every other Monday. I do Once Upon a Tabletop, which is on hold until further notice, I think, from what I remember. I also do Shattered Isles and this. So
you're everywhere.
I'm everywhere. That's that. I think I'm forgetting something, but that's this is me. Buy my art.
Buy her art.
Buy my art. Buy my art. Buy Cassie's soap. Talk to your nonprofit people, even though we're asking for money. You know, support Roll20. Support Night Witches and you know, I'm gonna get real for 5 seconds. Through this entire campaign, this has been very, very personal and very deep. So tell your family that you love them. Reach out. Like, this is serious.
For sure.
So,
like, if you have them, love them. For real.
Yeah. Also, tell your boyfriend that you love him. They might get shot. This is my second boyfriend that's been shot on Shadowcasters Network.
That's true.
I'm never having boyfriends again.
Have girlfriends.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
I gotta embrace my other side. Oh.
Well, I will wrap it up with my plugs, which are brief. My name is Scrim, and I, too, am on Join the Anarchy with the fabulous Paige and Oz and Trev, and the odd guest here and there, where other boyfriends are also shot on occasion. I want to thank the four of you, family, for bringing it today, and for an excellent session. And I think it can be hard to commit emotionally to characters when it's in such a very difficult setting. And thank you to chat for being so great, and for keeping these ladies alive.
Yes.
For real.
Yeah.
And we are off for a couple of weeks, so we're going to be back on April 24th. So everyone has 3 weeks to take a deep breath and thank the stars that we don't live in wartime, at least not in our home countries, and then we can get right back to it and take care of some business. So,
Yay!
thank you, everybody, and we will see you in 3 weeks.
Yay!
Yay.